Namaste, this is JBN Rahul Sharma. I am Assistant Professor of Microbiology in FPT Department of Jyoti Vidyapith Women's University, Jaipur, Rajasthan. So today's topic is principle and collection and processing of blood bank. So I want to tell you one thing, that the basic principle of blood bank is to save the people from the harmful diseases or disorders. For example, anemia. Anemia is the main problem in developing countries, mostly in women's of developing countries. Every women from developing countries is facing the problems of anemia, whether they are pregnant or non-pregnant, whether they are girls or aged. So the certain standards are set for collection and processing of each blood product. Like whole blood is the proper name for one defined product, specifically unseparated venous blood with an approved preservative added. So most blood for transfusion is collected as whole blood. So autologous donation are sometimes transfused without further modification. However, whole blood is typically separated by centrifugation into the components like RBC, WBC, platelet, and in plasma. So with RBC in solution being most commonly used product, units of whole blood and RBC are both kept refrigerated at 33 to 42 degrees 4 degree Fahrenheit with the maximum permitted storage periods shelf life that is called of 35 to 42 days. We are increasing the lifespan of whole blood or RBC every day by testing the new additives. We are adding the new additives. Otherwise, when I want to share one thing from a study life, that when I was pursuing the bachelor degree, the whole life of the RBC was 35 days only, but now there is 42 days has become. So with the maximum permitted storage periods. So RBC units can be frozen when buffered with the glycerol, but this is an expensive and time consuming process and it is rarely done. So these dense blood plasma is made into a variety of frozen components, and it is labeled differently based on when it was frozen and what the intended use of product is. If the plasma is frozen promptly and it is intended for transfusion, it is typically labeled as fresh frozen plasma, and if it is intended to made into the other product, it is typically labeled as recovered plasma for fractionation. Cryoprecipitate can be made from other plasma components. These components must be stored at 0 degree Fahrenheit or colder, like minus 18 degree centigrade, but typically stored at minus 22 degree Fahrenheit or minus 30 degree centigrade. The layer between the red cells and the plasma is referred to as thin buffy coat layer, and it is sometimes removed to make platelet for the transfusion. So platelets are typically pulled before transfusion and have a shelf life of 5 to 7 days only, or 3 days once the facility that collected them has completed their test. So the platelets are stored at the room temperature like 72 degree Fahrenheit or 22 degree centigrade, and this temperature and must be taken a rocked agitated. They should be moved timely. Since they are stored at room temperature in nitrative solution, they are at a relatively high risk for growing bacteria. Some blood banks also collect product by apheresis. So this most common component collected is plasma by plasma apheresis. But the red cells and platelet can be collected by similar method also. And these products generally have the same shelf life and the storage condition as their conventionally product counterparts. Most collection facilities as well as hospital blood banks also perform testing to determine the blood type of patient and to identify the compatible blood product along with the battery of the test. Battery means a disease and the treatment, like leukocyte filtration, to ensure the enhanced quality. Increasingly recognized problem of inadequate efficacy of transfusion. So storage and management. So routine blood storage is 42 days for 6 week or 6 week for stored packed red cells. By far the most commonly transfused blood product and involves refrigeration but usually not freezing. These and there has been increasing controversy about whether a given product unit age is factor in transfusion efficacy, specifically on whether older blood directly or indirectly increase risk of complication. So studies have been consistent answer about the blood banks and about the blood products. So there are some lesions, storage problems like insufficient transfusion efficiency can result from RBC blood product unit damaged by the so-called storage lesions, a set of biochemical changes which occur during storage with the red cells. This can be decreased viability and ability for tissue oxygenation. Although some of the biochemical changes are reversible after blood is transfused, biochemical changes are less so. The rejuvenation product are not yet able to adequately reverse this phenomenon. So currently regulatory measures are in place to minimize the RBC storage lesions. So including a maximum shelf life, a maximum autohemolysis threshold, and a minimum level of the post-transfusion RBC survival in body, that is called VIVO. Currently 75% after 24 hours. So however, all these criteria are applied in universal manner that does not account for differences among unit of product. Platelet lesions. Platelet storage lesions is very different phenomenon from RBC storage lesions, and due to largely to the different function and different product and purpose of the respective transfusion, along with the different processing issues and inventory management consideration. Okay, so topic is over, and thank you so much for watching this video. Namaste all of you. This is Jevin Rahul Sharma. I am assistant professor of microbiology in FPD department of Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Today's topic is principle of blood banking. So first I will start from the introduction. So in introduction, we have to know about the collection, testing, processing, preparation of blood and blood components, selection of most appropriate product, and transfusion practice based on laboratory findings and patient need, and monitoring of the effectiveness of transfusion as modified by the disease physiological status and procedure performed. So first I will discuss about the donor selection and collection. So US Food and Drug Administration, that is called FDA, regulates donor selection, collection, testing, component preparation, storage, distribution of blood and blood components through the Code of Federal Regulations. So American Association of Blood Banks regularly publish standards for blood banks and transfusion services, technical bulletins, and technical manuals, which direct donor and patient transfusion practice and procedures. So outside of the United States, similar regulatory agencies oversees production, transfusion, and post-transfusion complications through biovigilance network. So infectious disease testing should be include serological testing for human immunodeficiency, that is HIV virus, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, T lymphotropic virus, and syphilis, and nucleic amplification testing for HIV, hepatitis, and West Nile virus, although not currently required by the FDA. So testing for Kagaj disease, that is Treponema cruzi, is performed. So cytomegalovirus virus testing is not routinely performed because of the possibility of bacterial contamination of the platelet product. Different method of the bacterial testing for platelet have been performed. Donors deferral or other testing may be indicated. So component preparation and whole blood and dried product. So in United States, the majority of red blood cells and plasma product, including fresh frozen plasma, thawed plasma, and other plasma products, are derived from the donation of whole blood. In Canada and Europe, whole blood derived platelets are prepared using an alternative Buffy-Coat method, and depending on the type of processing, one whole blood unit can generate 1 unit each of RBC and platelet concentrate and plasma. In addition, the subsequent thawing and precipitation of fresh frozen plasma at 1 to 6 degrees centigrade can be generate a unit of cryoprecipitate. So apheresis and derived product. So same product obtained from whole blood processing may be obtained using apheresis technique. Apheresis technique provides the ability to obtain up to 12 equivalent donor whole blood platelet concentrate, a double unit of RBC, or up to 500 to 600 ml of plasma depending on donor weight, and granulocytes are also obtained using apheresis method. RBC and whole blood product. So whole blood is collected into bags containing one or several anticoagulant preservative solution. These include an acid citrate dextrose solution, citrate phosphate dextrose solution, citrate phosphate double dextrose solution, and citrate phosphate dextrose adenine solution. These days we are using this citrate phosphate dextrose adenine solution. This is the advanced solution we are using these days. Additive solutions are often added to the anticoagulant RBC product to increase shelf life, and the solution is slightly different in their additive constituent and include AS1, AS3, AS5 and AS7. Okay, so plasma product like FFP, fresh frozen plasma prepared after separation of whole blood, or apheresis and frozen at -18 degrees centigrade within 6 hours of preparation. Fresh plasma F24 plasma frozen within 24 hours and after phlebotomy, prepared from a whole blood or apheresis collection and stored at 1 to 6 degrees centigrade within 8 hours of collection and frozen at -8 degrees centigrade. Fresh frozen plasma within 24 hours after phlebotomy, held at room temperature up to 24 hours after phlebotomy, prepared from apheresis collection. Platelet products. Platelets are derived from whole blood or by apheresis. In United States, the whole blood derived platelets are prepared from second hard spin of platelet rich plasma. The platelet have a shelf life of 5 days and must be stored at 20 to 24 degrees centigrade. So basically the concept of blood banking and the selection and rejection of donor, how will we select and how we reject the donor, it basically depends on the physical examination and family history examination and the chemical examination. Like first, as donor come to physician, come to blood bank, you will examine the donor physically by observing, because you can get the idea physically how donor is looking like, and what is the family history, it has been suffered from disease or not, he is suffering or not, what is the family history, what is the family background, what is the donor's occupation, because occupation is also important to know, where he is doing job. Okay, so these are some points we should know and should born in our mind as a clinician, as a pathologist, as a blood bank technician. So now I will discuss about the cell counter and coagulometer in next video. So be safe at home. This is corona time, this is pandemic time. Do yourself and your family members safe, do take care, and don't to go outside unnecessarily. Thank you so much and take care all of you.